In a domestic violence case, one false accusation can turn your life upside down. And if you don't fight back the right way, that lie can stick. Today, we're walking through a case study to show you exactly what works and what doesn't when questioning an accuser in a domestic violence case. And to break it all down, let's bring in someone who actually knows what works in court, Judge L. Liberty. Cross-examination is an art. Do it right and you expose the truth. Do it wrong and you hand your accuser an easy way out. On this special behind-the-scenes look into my courtroom, I'll show you which questions work, which ones don't, and why the difference could decide your future. Keep watching. This could change everything. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence defense attorney here in California, and I help people throughout the entire state of California put their cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. I'm also the creator of a course called Defeat the DVRO, in which I teach you how to represent yourself at a restraining order hearing and win, including exact scripts of how to cross-examine, like I'm going to be demonstrating in this video in court. So if in addition to dealing with a criminal case, you also have a restraining order, make sure that you get your free first class via the link down below. Too many people, too many lawyers focus on the wrong details, letting their accuser's story go unchallenged, or worse yet, making it even stronger. But today, we're going to break down exactly what works, what doesn't, when it comes to poking holes in a false accusation. To start, let's hear from Dan, the man whose future is on the line.
That night, Fran and I argued. She had been drinking. She was furious with me about who knows what even. She tripped over the coffee table and fell. I never touched her. The next morning, I told her I was done and moved out. A few hours later, she went to the police and said I pushed her and slapped her. Then she claimed I had been abusing her for years, which is crazy. In that time, we had renewed our lease, took trips, talked about the future, and now the moment I leave, she says I was abusive all along? The truth is, she was cheating. She didn't expect me to walk away, and now I'm on trial for something I didn't do. Today, she testified that I punched her. My attorney is about to cross-examine her. I just hope the truth finally comes out.
His lawyer has one job and one chance to dismantle Fran's credibility on the stand. Let's see how she does. You're telling us that you stayed with him for 2 years after the first time you claimed he abused you? Yes, because I was scared to leave. Counselor, victims don't always leave right away. Move on. All right, so at first glance, this question might seem like a strong attack. Why would someone stay with an abuser for 2 years? But in reality, it is a dead end. The second that she says that she did not leave because she was scared, the argument falls apart. And if anything, this question makes the attorney there look out of touch, and the jury tunes it out completely. You want to expose contradictions, not give them easy answers. So, what's a better approach? Let's try again. You said you were afraid of Dan, right? Yes. You told the police that you felt trapped? Yes. But after this alleged incident, you signed a new lease with him for another year, right? We were trying to work things out. This does two things. It acknowledges the fear, so the jury doesn't see the attorney as dismissive. And it exposes behavior that contradicts that fear. This isn't just asking, why did you stay? It is pinning the witness down. Someone who is truly terrified doesn't generally voluntarily sign legal documents to keep living with their abuser. Now that's how you corner a liar. If this really happened, why didn't you report it that night? I was in shock, but you had no problem reporting it later? I needed time to process it. Again, move on, counselor. This lets Fran control the narrative. She can say she was overwhelmed, confused, or traumatized, and the jury will nod along. This question, it doesn't challenge her. It just gives her a platform to explain away the timeline. Counselor, if you want to expose a false accusation, don't ask when she reported it. Ask why she suddenly decided to. Now let's try that again. Fran, you and Dan had an argument that night. Yes. You had been drinking. I had a couple drinks. Yes. And at some point you fell. Yes. You tripped over the coffee table. I don't remember exactly, but you admit that you fell, right? Yes. You didn't call the police that night? No. And the next morning, Dan told you that he was done and moved out? Yes. And after he left, that's when you went to the police? Yes. After he broke up with you? Yes. Much better. It walks the jury through the timeline step by step. No room for distractions. It highlights the moment everything changed. When Dan left. That's how you make the jury start asking the right questions. Instead of just asking why someone delayed reporting, focused on what changed between the incident and the accusation. If the report only happens after a breakup, especially if it was initiated by the so-called abuser, the jury will see the motive without you having to outright say it. And that, again, is how you stay one step ahead of a liar. You said this happened at 10 p.m., but the police report says 9:45. Which is it? I don't remember exactly. Oh, counselor, humans aren't robots. This isn't a big deal. Let's be real. No one expects a witness to remember the exact time that something happened, especially in a stressful situation. A jury won't throw out an entire story just because someone was off by 15 minutes. You have to ask yourself, counselor, who cares? What does it matter? And here's the real problem. This makes the defense attorney look desperate. If all you've got is was it 9:45 or 10 o'clock, the jury tunes out. But what happens when the accuser starts changing the things that actually matter? That's when we've got something. So let's see how that should have gone. Fran, in your first statement to the police, you said that Dan slapped you, correct? I don't remember exactly. And now you're saying that he punched you. Yes. Those are two very different things. I mean, it might have been a punch. I was upset. There was a lot going on. I felt traumatized. Now this detail matters. A slap and a punch aren't just different words. They're completely different levels of violence. One might not leave a mark, but the other, it probably would. And if she can't even remember that, what else could she be getting wrong? Instead of nitpicking little things, focus on the big inconsistencies, the ones that change the story itself. Those are the details that juries latch onto, and those are the ones that win cases. That's how you expose the truth. Isn't it true that you cheated on Dan? That has nothing to do with this. He abused me. I made some mistakes, sure, but that doesn't make what he did right. Are you trying to say that I deserved it? Ugh, counselor, let's stay focused on the case. This doesn't challenge Fran's credibility in any way that matters. Even if she cheated, the jury won't see that as proof she's lying about domestic violence. In fact, this can backfire. Instead of making Fran look dishonest, it makes the defense look desperate, like they're throwing dirt instead of proving a lie. And when the jury senses that, they tune out. If you want to go after her credibility, you need a real contradiction, something that matters to the case. So let's try that again. Fran, in your statement to the police, you said that you loved Dan, correct? Yes. And you told the police that you had no reason to lie about him, right? But at the time of this accusation, you had already started seeing someone else, hadn't you? Well, we were having problems, and you never mentioned that to the police. No, I guess I didn't. Now we're getting somewhere. Instead of attacking character, go after contradictions. That's what makes the jury start doubting the whole story. And that is how you control the case. Cross-examination is about exposing lies, not nitpicking. Remember, weak cross-examination makes you look desperate. Strong cross-examination, on the other hand, forces the jury to see the truth. I hope you found this video helpful. Now look, a false accusation does not have to ruin your life if you fight it the right way. And the sooner that you start, the better your chances. If you do have a criminal case in the state of California, feel free to give me a call. You can find my number down below. You can also book a consultation there. And if you did find this helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you have a question or a comment, leave it in the comments.